So if you're a leader right now, you are staring down one of the biggest challenges of our time. And that is, how do you really master AI? I'm not talking about just using the buzzwords, but truly getting a feel for it, understanding its gut instincts, and leading your team with actual confidence in this new world.
Okay, let's just unpack this for a second, because this quote nails a huge paradox. The very place you're supposed to be learning and growing as a strategist, your office, the boardroom, is actually the absolute worst training ground for AI. Why? Because the stakes are way too high. There's just no room for failure.
And believe me, the pressure's on. A staggering 90% of business leaders, that's almost everyone, they all agree that AI is non-negotiable for their future. It is fundamental. So it's not a question of if anymore, it's a question of how, and how fast. But here is the massive disconnect. Even though everyone knows it's important, there's this huge trust gap. Leaders, teams, they don't have that hands-on gut level for it. And how can you trust an algorithm to guide your biggest moves if you don't really, truly understand it? You know, what this all adds up to is something we can call an AI strategy crisis. We've been handed this unbelievably powerful new tool, but we're missing the basic hands-on experience to know how to use it right.
Which, of course, leads to the big question, right? If the high-pressure corporate world is the absolute wrong place to learn and experiment, then where on earth are you supposed to build these crucial new instincts?
Well, the answer might surprise you. It's not in some expensive seminar or another online certification. No, the answer is way closer to home. We are talking about what's called the Domestic Sandbox.
So what is a domestic sandbox? It's a pretty powerful idea. It means you deliberately start using your personal life, your home, your family schedule, your finances, as a safe, low-stakes laboratory. It's a practice field for the kind of high-level strategic thinking that AI is demanding from all of us.
And this chart just lays it out perfectly. Look at the difference. In the corporate world, a bad call can cost millions, maybe even your job. At home, your AI-generated meal plan is a total flop. So what? You order a pizza. The feedback is instant, the cost of failure is basically zero, and the learning is incredibly fast.
Now, to make this really click, you have to make a mental shift. You have to start thinking of your household not just as a home, but as a complex little company, a micro-enterprise.
And what's so cool about this is how it fits into the history of strategy itself. We went from these ancient, dynamic, super adaptive battle formations to these slow, rigid 5-year corporate plans. But now, AI has thrown us right back into a world that demands continuous intelligence, constant adaptation, which, if you think about it, is exactly what it takes to run a household every single day.
So, in this new home enterprise, you get a new title. You are now the Family Chief AI Officer. And you're not just playing with gadgets. You're making real executive-level decisions. You're tackling data sovereignty, like what are we okay with our smart speaker hearing? You're doing vendor risk management. Is that new smart lock actually secure? And you're setting policy. What are the family rules for using ChatGPT on a school paper?
Okay, so this is where the rubber meets the road. We can take these proven, big-time corporate frameworks and apply them directly to the day-to-day challenges of running our own homes.
Let's kick things off with a classic. You've seen it in every business class ever, the SWOT analysis. Strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats.
So, how does this work in our sandbox? It's actually pretty simple. You can run a dynamic, AI-powered SWOT analysis on your family's finances.
Just imagine an AI plugged into your financial apps. It's going to give you a brutally honest look in the mirror. It's totally unemotional. It'll say, hey, great job on your savings, but it'll also call out your subscription bloat as a clear weakness. You know, having to face that kind of objective, data-driven truth, that builds the exact same mental muscle you need when you're in a high-stakes corporate strategy meeting.
All right, next tool from the corporate world, Michael Porter's value chain. This is just a fancy way of breaking down all the little steps that go into creating value in a business.
And it's kind of amazing how cleanly this whole concept maps onto the home. Inbound logistics, that's just your AI-powered grocery list that knows you're about to run out of milk. Operations, that's your fleet of robotic vacuums. Procurement is just an AI tool finding you the best deal on a new bike. You can even think about HR management, using an AI tutor to help develop your kids' talent. You're learning to see and optimize a whole complex system.
But let's be real. As any leader will tell you, the technology is usually the easy part. The real challenge? It's always the people.
Oh, I love this part.
That classic corporate pushback, "That's not how we do things here." It has the exact same energy as your family saying, "But we always have pizza on Fridays." When you try to use a new AI scheduling app and your partner says it feels too controlling, congratulations, you are getting a live, first-hand lesson in change management and cultural resistance.
And then you run into maybe the biggest hurdle of all with AI, the black box problem. What do you do when the AI spits out an answer, but it can't explain why? How are you supposed to trust a decision when you can't see the logic behind it?
This is where practicing at home builds such a vital skill. Let's call it algorithmic skepticism. It's that moment when an AI symptom checker tells you your head cold might be a rare tropical disease. You immediately learn to question the machine, to push back and ask, "Show me your work." And that is exactly the kind of critical oversight you need when an AI is recommending a billion-dollar corporate acquisition. So, the real payoff for all this practice at home isn't just a more efficient household. It's a deep, fundamental transformation of your skills as a leader. You're becoming an augmented strategist.
I mean, look at the skills you're forging. You realize that writing a good prompt is really about the art of strategic inquiry. Data governance stops being a boring IT issue and starts feeling like a moral stewardship. You build real empathy by navigating your family's feelings about these new tools. You're literally learning how to co-evolve with intelligence itself. And really, this all brings us to the final, most critical question. This whole idea, this domestic sandbox, it isn't about letting machines take over. Not at all. It's about practicing in a safe and deeply personal way how to lead alongside them. It's about making sure that as our world gets smarter and more automated, your judgment, your wisdom, and your humanity always remain the true compass.